We are going to take the next 15 minutes or so and review the do's and don'ts of exhibiting at a trade show. And hopefully you'll get some golden nuggets that you could take back, that you will have an even more successful trade show going forward. I want to start with a story. There were 3 salespeople and they went into the woods, and all of a sudden they saw this bear. And one froze immediately, and one started to run, and one just stood there and comfortably put on their running shoes. And the one that was running yells back, "What are you doing? The bear's going to get you." And the one with the running shoes said, "Nope, I'm fine. I just have to outrun you," which is really what I'm trying to convey with the overall trade show. You just have to be ahead of your competition or in front of your competition. And hopefully with some of the tidbits I give you today, that will help you to accomplish that. With the trade show, there is no 5-second rule. There is actually a 3-second rule. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It takes approximately 3 steps, 3 seconds for a prospect to decide if they're going to walk past your booth or into your booth. And if you think about it, it's really called a show for a reason. Because you are putting on a show. You're like in the theater and you're presenting and you're engaging with people to kind of draw them in. So what are some ways that you could go about doing that? Well, for starters, you have to kind of bring them into your booth. So you may need to have some great opening lines, and feel free to pause this and discuss amongst yourselves if you're in a group some opening lines, but here are a couple, and they all should always be open-ended so there's not a yes/no type of answer. What questions can I answer for you? What do you think we're selling here today? With a smile. So maybe they're curious about, what's in the booth. What is your number one objective here today? I mean, they're there for a reason. They're obviously, walking the show to find what they're looking for. So in order for you to put on this great show, there's a couple things that definitely need to happen. You need to smile. Good eye contact is very important because they need to trust you. And be present in the moment. Do not look over their shoulder, because that will give them the feeling that that they're not good enough for you, or you're looking for other prospects, and you want to engage with them. So just make sure you're there. Shake their hands. Don't go crazy, but everyone likes the human interaction, so definitely shake their hands. If you do have appointments that are coming in, make sure that you face your watch against your wrist, so you could kind of slightly just look down versus turning it over, and people are feeling like, they're not worth your time, or you just don't want to give anyone a negative type of feeling. And listen, really listen to what people are saying, because you'd be amazed at the little tidbits of notes that you'll get. And it's important that you constantly just focus on what they're saying and take copious notes. Pay attention to the body language. It's very interesting. If they are looking up, maybe they're a little bit nervous. If their hands are crossed or their arms are crossed, they may just be closed-minded. So these little details that you notice could help you, because then you could get them to a place that is kind of neutral so that you can move forward. Why are you at the trade show? In a world of digital media, is it really important that you are at an actual trade show? A focus group was done with digital marketing experts to see who believed that trade shows were still important, and 90% thought they still were. Trade shows are essential because people like that human interaction, and they want to see and speak to people and feel the trust and be able to engage and have a good conversation. They want to be able to talk to someone, and they want to buy from people that they know and they like. That's so important. Here's a picture of me, by the way, so if you ever need anything, you know who I am, and feel free to reach out to me. What are you really selling? Trust. People want to feel good about you, trust you, and believe that you're going to get the job done. You need to get to the next step in the transaction. If it's a new prospect, you want to make sure that you get as much information as possible, and if they're not the person that you should be talking to, that you get the person's name. If it's a client, maybe you could offer some additional benefits, or maybe they could even give you some referrals. But whoever you're talking to, your objective is to get to the next step in the transaction. And remember this, and this is a great quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. They want to trust you, they want to like you, they want to have that certain connection, so they'll buy from you. You may run into some individuals who will waste way too much of your time, so let me help you with how to disengage from them. You'll probably be in the booth with a partner from your company, so have a signal beforehand, maybe a pulling of the ear so they know that they should come in and save you. Other types of disengagement. You could shake their hand and say, we agree that this might not be the best fit, and kind of help them out of the booth in a nice way. Or let me introduce you and possibly introduce them to your neighbor. Introducing them to someone else is so easy. And actually, I want to talk about developing the habit of introducing people, because as you increase your network and you have the opportunity to introduce different people, they so appreciate that, and it comes full circle. So definitely develop the habit of introducing people. Have goals before you go. Make sure you know I want to see X amount of prospects, or if you could pre-call plan and you could see, the clients that are coming, I want to discuss this with them and I want to get to this next level. Sit down with your sales manager and actually make sure that you have goals set in place. Because if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail for sure. Have a checklist. Make sure you have your table throw, and if you are going to match with your partner in the booth, maybe you wear a polo that's the same color as your logo, so you could expand some brand awareness. And if you can do any pre-call planning, that's always great as well, to check any type of lists of people who are coming. And then also, introduce yourself to the other exhibitors when you get there, because every single one of them could be a potential client for you. And even if they're not, you learn a little bit about them. So if there's someone in your booth that isn't a good fit for you, you might be able to refer that exhibitor. But the most important thing to be prepared, know your competitors. You have to know who's there. So you need to scope the floor before opening and know how you're going to differentiate yourself from them so that you could end up winning the prospect. You've got to show up to go up. And you need to promote yourself. And what I mean by this, and this is absolutely a best practice, do not sit next to someone that you know. So if you have a lunch or you have a networking event, I know that's your comfort zone, but you are there to meet prospects and talk to different clients. Don't sit with someone you know. So we now know why people come into the booth. Now let's discuss why people pass by the booth. Here are the no's that you absolutely cannot do in the booth. No cell phones, period. No sitting unless you're with a customer. No eating in the booth. No one wants to talk to you while you're eating. And no chatting with other staffers or exhibitors. You need to engage people. You need to make sure that they feel comfortable walking in to talk with you. And giveaways should go to qualified prospects or clients. You could have, something small for the mass, but have something that's going to be more of a wow factor. It doesn't have to be expensive, but something that's going to have the prospect or the client remember you. Because with literature, 95% of literature never makes it home, but 87% of recipients keep their promotional products for longer than 12 months. At the show, make sure you capture as much data as possible. Take copious notes of what they tell you and also write down things you notice about them. Maybe they're wearing red shoes or they have a baseball cap with a certain team on. So when you reach out to them with emails or notes, that this is something that you could bond with or you could discuss again. And please be sure to get the names of others, that if these are not the main contacts, so you know who you should be reaching out to. So how do you manage your leads? Well, you have to rank your prospects for sure. So anyone who is, eager to buy or you feel is a great fit, you would rank them from the first and then all the way down. Make sure everything goes into your contact management system so you have, very good detailed notes. And follow up. Have a plan that works for you. Do what you say you will do. If you tell them that you're going to call them next Wednesday, make sure you call them next Wednesday. So here are a few follow-up tips. And we discussed you have to do, as promised. But if you fail, there's always another way. You have to know your audience. Millennials like texting rather than email, so maybe text them. Baby boomers like the phone calls and the emails. Gen X, they prefer emails. Emails are easy to send and also to ignore. So if you're not getting in one way, know your audience and try to go in a different way. But like I mentioned, be organized with your leads. Enter them into your CRM system with all that you remember, because you want to just be able to have a follow-up date and not think about this, a month from now, what did we discuss? The notes are very important. Look at the prospects. There is a world of information with LinkedIn. Use it. You might find out who else is in their company, or what are their contacts they know, what other companies do they know that may be good prospects for you. And follow up with creativity. Be creative. Like get a baseball or softball with a note that says, our team's going to hit it out of the park for you. Looking forward to working with you. Just be memorable. And lastly, if you get to the show and nothing shows up, do not panic. Get a whiteboard or some paper and write at the top, please leave your comments and be as creative as possible with why our stuff is not here. And please leave a card, as we will have prizes for the most creative comments. There's nothing you could do, so make the best of it, and hopefully you will still get some great contacts. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, text me, or email me, and I wish you many successful trade shows to come.